welcome to Body Sculpt Pilates. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Claire. So today we're going to be working through an introduction to Pilates. We're going to be doing some basic moves through to some slightly more intermediate moves. You'll be given some options of varying levels, so you can work to how you're feeling today and to where your strengths are. Pilates is brilliant for giving you an all-over workout, focusing on the core muscles and giving the body a really good stretch, so I hope you enjoy it. Let's come down to the mats. If it's first thing in the morning and you're not very warmed up, do just make sure that you allow yourself a little bit of movement before getting going. But when you're ready, just come down onto mats if you've got one, or the floor will be fine. And we're going to bring ourselves into our neutral spine position. So this is the position we work at in Pilates. Taking the feet hip width, knees upright, pelvis is nice and level, and then we've just got that soft arch in the base of the back. We want to keep that arch there. So we're not pressing the spine down into the mat, we're keeping the curve at the base. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath. Then we're just taking a moment just to think about our core muscles. So the two main muscles of the core are the TVA, transverse abdominis, and that's a muscle that runs all the way around your middle like a corset. It's not the visible muscle, the six-pack muscle, it's the one underneath. And that's the muscle that contracts when somebody points a camera on you and you flatten your stomach, or maybe you're trying to get into a tight pair of jeans. So just practice gently pulling that stomach muscle in. Then the other muscle of the core is the pelvic floor. So running front to back, we very gently lift the pelvic floor, and the connection of these two muscles are our core. So just to help these muscles activate, we're going to start our session with some tabletop lifts. So the tabletop is where we take one leg and we position it with the knee just above the hip, and the shin is parallel to the floor. Now when we lift both legs in this position, it's quite hard work on the stomach muscles. So just take a moment to stabilise your stomach by just drawing in the belly button. Then on your next exhale, lift the second leg up. Now hopefully what you'll feel is lots of energy in your abdomen, but not pulling into your back. So if it feels quite easy, you can move your knees away just a little. If it feels a bit too much, move them in a touch. So just get to that catch point where you feel your stomach muscles are working, then take the legs down one at a time. Right, we're going to do 2 more rounds of that. So exhale the leg up, then just feel like you're just drawing your belly button in as the second leg lifts. Be honest as to whether your shoulders are tight. Take the legs down again. Do 1 more. Nice deep inhale. As you exhale, let's take 1 leg up. And then we exhale the second leg up. When we come back down this time, we're going to transfer into an ab crunch. Now, if you've got a slightly achy neck, or maybe your core's a little weaker, you can pop your hands underneath your head for this. Otherwise, we're leaving them down by the sides, generating energy from the stomach muscles, rolling the shoulder blades away from the mat, reaching the fingertips long. Roll it back down again. Take a breath and scoop in. Pull in the belly button, reach the fingertips long, then roll it down. Now if you want to make it a little harder, we're going to put an arm reach in. So we come into our ab crunch and we lift the arms up above the shoulders. Careful you don't collapse the ab crunch. Drop the arms down and roll out. Let's go again. Scooping in, lift the arms up, arms come down, and we roll out of the ab crunch. Okay, little shoulder stretch next, then we're going to come into our first Pilates move. So just to warm up our shoulder joints, just want you to have a couple of reaches, lifting your shoulder blade away from the mat, stretching your fingertips up to the ceiling. You can do this one at a time, or you can stretch both together. Then we're just going to have some arm circles, so be aware of your surroundings. Take the arms overhead without arching the back. Circle the arms around to the start position. Really pulling your stomach muscles, so your back position shouldn't change at all. Change direction, drop the arms down, circle them round. We've got 3 joints in our shoulders, and over 30 muscles. They're a really, really complicated structure. So we need to give them lots of attention. Take the arms down by the sides, tuck the shoulder blades under, and we're prepping for our first move. So we're going to come into the 100 by taking our legs again, one at a time to tabletop. Now there's lots of levels for this, so feel free to alter where you need to. But to start everybody off, we're now going to roll into our ab crunch position and reach our fingertips long. Pumping from the shoulders, we beat the arms by the sides with a nice quick energising breath. If this is too much, you can lay your head and neck back down. If you want to work the abs a little harder, you can always just pop a hand under your head and support your neck. If you want to work a little harder, straighten your legs out. Now, depending on how low your legs are, depends on how hard you work. See if you can challenge it a little, take them down a touch. If it gets too much, you can draw back to your tabletop at any time. Okay, so nice panting breath, pulling in the stomach muscles. Remember, you can take it back a level if you want to. Okay, let's start to take it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw knees in. Work the knees into the chest, have a little bit of movement in the back and then pull out for a full body stretch. Right, that should have got the blood pumping, got us nice and warmed up. So now let's pull back to neutral spine position. Taking those feet back hip width, nice level pelvis. We're going to come into some heel slides next. It's often a good practice to put your hands on your hips so you can feel what's going on. The heel slide is a very basic move, but it's brilliant for getting deep core control. So we're going to exhale one leg away, keeping it just in contact with the ground. Then you're going to bring it back to the start position. Level hips, they shouldn't move as you swap legs. Exhale the leg away, just pulling in the stomach muscles. Then inhale to draw it back. Pelvic floor remains engaged, so the hips stay level as you swap sides. Right, we're going to do 2 more. Then we're going to bring it into our next Pilates move, the one leg stretch. One of my faves. Last one. Okay, let's bring the knees into the chest one at a time. Take a hold of these knees. And then transfer to just holding onto your right leg whilst lengthening your left leg away. Now very gently hug that right leg into your body and feel the reach of the left leg as it lengthens away from you. Then swap sides. Now if you're slightly more stiff today, feel free to leave your head down on the floor. The next level is that we scoop into the ab crunch and we work here. Drawing the leg in, lengthening the other leg away. Now the leg that you're drawing back, your shin should be parallel to the mat. So we're not pulling the foot in, we're not crunching that knee joint, we're keeping it open. Now if you want to work harder, just simply lift a little higher. But you lift higher from your abs, not from clinging onto your leg. Think about the breath. Feel free to stop if you want to. If not, let's do another 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw the knees in. Supple them into the chest. A little bit of a movement, and then again we pull out for a full body stretch. Stretch over those stomach muscles, and then when you come back to neutral this time, we're going to move our feet a little bit closer into the body. They don't need to be as close in as mine are. I tuck mine in a bit too close, really. Right, so we just want them to be a bit nearer because we're going to have some bridge work, which is brilliant for backs. What we're doing with the bridge is we're taking the back into an extended position, so the back muscles are active and working. We're also going to strengthen glutes and hamstrings. To warm up the base of the back, we're going to come into a pelvic tilt first. So I want you to take that arch in the base of your back and remove it by pressing the base of the spine into the mat. Take a little breath there, thinking about the pelvic floor lifting, stomach muscles drawing in. And then rock back to neutral. Let's go again. Press the base of the spine down into the mat and you get that curling motion in the hips, so the hips are doing that shape. Then we come back to neutral, and now we're going to take it up to a bridge. So the bridge move, we're peeling from the hips, taking the tailbone away, the pelvis, the lower back, middle back, upper back till we're on the shoulders. Take a pause here. Your knees should still be where they were when you're on the mat, so they haven't splayed open, they've remained engaged. Hips are level, glutes are active, then we roll it back down, releasing the vertebrae one at a time back down to the mat. Take a breath and roll back up again. Now if your back's a bit tight, especially if you've been doing lots of desk work from home, or the common thing at the moment is gardening, then you might want to just keep working at this level. If you want a little bit more challenge, we're going to put a lift in. So when we come to the top of the bridge, we take our arms and we lift them up and over. Now be careful it doesn't destabilise your bridge. The bridge should remain still. There should be no wobbling in the bridge. Then we take it back down again. We're going to do 2 more like that, peeling up from the hips, rolling up to the shoulders, taking the arms up and over. Bringing them back down, don't let the bridge move, pushing up in those glutes. Roll back down, last one. Exhale up. Arms come over. Arms back down by your sides. As we come out the bridge this time, you'll allow your knees to sink into your hips. So we're just allowing that back to flex again, giving it a little draw in. Then we're going to come onto our sides. So rolling over. Position yourself nice and straight down your mat, and then just bring your legs a little bit in front. Looking down, you should be able to see that your toes are level, your knees and your hips are stacked, and your hand is down in front of you. Then straighten your neck, so don't carry on working looking at the body. Straighten the neck out. Now just very gently pulling in these stomach muscles, we're just going to come in some top leg lifts. Now I want the hips to remain stacked, so we're not lifting so high that you're having to twist back. We're just lifting up into that hip socket there and back down again. Now we're going to do the kicks today. We're going to start really small. Just take your leg to hip height. On your next exhale, we're going to draw the leg forwards. Then inhale it back. Watch you don't twist the back. Exhaling forwards. Inhale back. Your body should be remaining really still. Think about the weight in this hand. You shouldn't be pushing lots of weight into the hand when you kick forwards. And when you kick back, the hand shouldn't be lifting up away from the mat, okay? You should be able to balance a cup of tea or a glass of wine or a G&T on your shoulder, depending on what your favourite tipple is. So keep bracing these abs in. We're going to do 3 more. Exhaling through, inhaling back, stabilise the back, exhaling through, abs bracing. Last one. Then lay the legs down, bend the knees to the front and just give that hip a little bit of a stretch. So we're going to have a little chest opener now. Taking the arms out in front, take the top arm and open it up and over behind you. And just relax there in a bit of a stretch. You might not be able to come all the way down to the ground. That really depends on your flexibility through your spine. But we're trying to keep the knees down and open the chest and close it back up again. This is quite a nice indicator of how much movement you've got coming through your back. It's a really nice stretch position. Well, I think so. My favourite positions. When we close up from this, we're going to come onto our fronts next. Now we're just going to work some plain back extensions today, just to introduce you to the work on your fronts. When we're working on our front, it's really important that you keep your forehead down. So I know that makes it a bit hard to see what I'm doing. Feel free to look up and have a look at any time. If not, just try and follow my direction. So your fingertips are facing towards your toes, your forehead's on the mat, and your shoulders are relaxed. On your next exhale, release the forehead away from the mat, but we're still looking down at the floor. So as we lift the shoulders away from the mat, we've got a nice long stretch over the back of the neck coming out the crown of the head. Then we lay the forehead back down to the mat, relax the shoulders back down. Take an inhale, exhale back up. Lifting the chest away from the mat, lengthen right through the spine and lower down. Soften shoulders. If you want to energise that a little more, lift the hands away from the mat and reach the fingertips towards the feet. Take the breath and roll it back down. Let's go again. Reaching up, energising the shoulders down the back, long neck and lower. Last one, soften your shoulders, take it back up. Breathe into that stretch and lower back down. Let's stretch the back out now, so lift yourself up, take yourself back towards your heels and just stretch the base of your back into a child's pose. If you've got bad knees, and this is a bad position for you, you can just do the stretch on your side. You don't have to come into this position. All we're trying to do is round the base of the back. Okay, we're going to come up onto all fours next. So, positioning onto your mat, we're going to come up onto our all fours, popping our hands underneath the shoulders. Okay, now in this position, you shouldn't be able to pick up your middle finger. If you can, it means that your hands are a little bit out in front. So you need to shuffle them back and take your shoulders over your hands. If you can still lift up your middle finger, the chances are you're collapsing your elbows a little. If your hands are under your shoulders, your arms are lengthened and your chest is pressing away from the mat, you shouldn't be able to pick up your finger. Unless you're double jointed, okay? Hypermobile people can. So, nice bit of length from the crown of your head to your tailbone, and we're looking down between the thumbs whilst gently lifting up the belly button. On your next exhale, we're going to lengthen one leg behind and just lift it a little away from the ground. Bring the knee back down and swap to the other side. Now we're aiming to have the back as still as possible. So keep gently lifting up the belly button and be very careful you're not twisting. If you feel quite good here, you can start to work the diagonal arm. Reaching away, inhaling back, exhaling open. Be mindful of where you put your hands back down. Be careful they're not creeping out in front of you. Think about whether that neck's still nice and long. Are we looking down between the thumbs? If your wrists start to feel sprained, sit back and release them. Let's do one more. Then push back to child's pose again. Give the wrists a little bit of a softening. And we're going to come up and over. So it's really important that you weight bear on your wrists like we were just doing. Otherwise, the only time that we tend to put weight on our wrists is when we fall over. That's why wrists sprain and they snap quite easily because they're not strong. It's a joint that we need to work on quite a lot. So 4-point kneeling is absolutely brilliant. Right, so stack yourself along your mat, pop your hand down in front and just think the nice length of spine. Then as and when you're ready, top leg lifts. Now we've got to make sure these legs aren't behind us, so we always have a little bit of a pike in the body. It should be a really smooth lifting. Okay, coming into the kicks. So top leg at hip height, and again that's hip height, not that. So if your leg's a bit high, drop it down. Exhale the leg forwards and inhale it back. And just think about how still you can get your body. And this has to be done by bracing these abs in against your spine. Exhaling the leg forward, inhaling the leg back. Think about the weight in the hand. Are you pushing down hard as you kick forward? Is the hand lifting away as the leg comes back? The weight should be even. As long as your hips aren't hurting, let's do a couple more. Last one. And bend the knees. Take the top leg over the bottom one, just have a little stretch. Okay, take that nice chest opener. Top arm coming up and over. Big twist through the back. And close it back up. Let's have one more. Opening out. Big rotation. Then we're going to bring this up to seated next. Now sometimes people struggle a little bit with the seated work and they find that it's a bit tough on their hip flexors. They find it a bit tough in their thighs. If this is the case for you, you can sit on a small pillow. It will just relieve your hips a touch. Equally, if you start to get a little tired in your seating work, just stretch and loosen the body up or get up if you need to. I'm going to face this way so you can see my back, but feel free to keep facing the screen. That'll help you see what we're doing. So, turning on the mat, I just want you to lift your shoulders up above your hips. Don't lift your hips up above your shoulders. That's a whole new move. So pull nice and tall, length through the spine, roll your shoulder blades down your back. Now we're going to try and keep this length of spine as we take the legs away a little. Now you may only come to this point, that's absolutely fine. Depending on your flexibility will depend on whether you can lengthen the legs away, and this is something to work on. What I don't want is that, and I see it so often in class, the desperation to straighten the legs and the back collapses. You need to be able to sit up into this move. If you can't, bend your knees. If you're finding that quite easy, and grab a mirror in your house, it's really handy to see what's going on. Flex your feet up. Oh. That should now be a pretty horrible position. So, postural muscles are switched on. We're lifting tall on the sit bones, we're popping the thumbs on the chest. Rotate towards the camera by twisting from the belly button. Don't move your hips or your heels. Pull back to the centre. Rotate the other way. Pull back to the centre. Let's do that again. Twist. Pull back. Twist. Pull back. And slouch. So that nice twisting movement through the back, it's very challenging when you've switched on your postural muscles. Let's go back to that point of stretch up through the back of the spine. The legs work away only as far as you can take them. If you need to bend them, do. But if you can, lengthen them away. Reach the arms in front. Pulling back from the belly button, we're going to fold. Reaching forward over the feet. So you might just come to here. It's absolutely fine. If you're a little bit more flexible, you might come a little deeper. Take a big deep breath here. And then restack your spine really slowly. If you imagine there's a brick wall behind you, you're slotting yourself back up against that brick wall. Then we go again. Reaching forward. Restack. It's quite a challenging stretch for most people unless you're double jointed. Last one. Anybody who knows me before my days as a Pilates instructor will vouch for how unflexible I used to be. When you restack this time, let your arms come softly down by your sides, bend your knees, and we'll just have a little check-in. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all doing okay. If you need to grab a drink or anything, take one. We're coming into our last section now of the video. We're going to do a couple of roll-ups, and then we're just going to finish with some nice stretching down on the mat. So, with the roll-up work, if you have a slightly overarched place of your back, grab a towel or a jumper or something, and you might want to put a little bit of padding here. You'll know this if you've got good strength and you can normally, do your exercise classes and you can plank and you can do lots of strength work, but you can't get back up off the mat. The chances are you need that little bit of padding there. If you're just in the basis of working your core and you're not quite strong yet, you'll want to work at the basic level. Don't worry if you can't get back up again. So we're going to start with our C-curve, and all we're doing with the C-curve is we're rounding the spine, we're pulling the belly button in, we're softening the shoulders, and we're compressing the abdominal muscles. Then we're sitting back up again. Now you might just want to work here, just working these, getting lots of power in the stomach, softening the shoulders. Or you might want to take it a little deeper. Now the next level from here is to take it down to the mat. The base level is we roll the spine down to the mat, we take the arms down by the sides, then we come back up again, rolling chin to chest and peeling up away from the mat. If that felt okay, you can take the arms up and over. Now don't worry if it didn't feel okay. It's okay to go back a level. Don't arch your back, reach your arms to the ceiling. Peel up away from the mat. If that felt alright, we can try lengthening the legs away and coming into our forward stretch. We roll it down from the mat from here. When the arms come over, be careful you don't arch your back. And that's the point where if you are a really quite fit, strong person and you're struggling to get back up from the mat and you feel both feet bob up from the mat, so you get to this point, you just can't quite go any further. That's where you probably need that little bit of padding underneath your spine. It's just that your back can't articulate and make contact to peel away. Nothing more than that, nothing to do with weakness. If you're not quite ready to be working here yet, don't worry, we've got time. Let's make this the last one. Up and over. And then bring your arms down by your sides and pull back to neutral spine position. Right, okay, so they're the Pilates roll up. We're going to finish just with a little bit of a hamstring stretch, okay, and then working into our stretches, and then that's going to be the end of our session today. So a little bit of mobility, coming into your neutral spine. We're just going to take our right leg to tabletop position, that position we had at the beginning of the session. Keeping your left leg as still as possible. We're just going to exhale that leg down and inhale back. So we're not moving the knee joint, it's just the hip socket that's working. Just the thigh that's reaching away, pulling back. Give me one more. Then we're going to take it into a hamstring stretch, lengthening up. Now don't worry if you just get to here, but ideally we want to try and straighten the leg. You can take a hold of it if you want, but we're just going to take a few breaths, just feeling that, in all honesty, discomfort down the back of your leg. It shouldn't be painful, but you will feel it. Then bend the knee and release it back down. Okay, same thing as this leg. Left leg lifts to tabletop, right leg is really still, and off we go. We tap down and draw back. Tap down and draw back. Okay, let's take that into a hamstring stretch. So what I'm building up for here is the scissor move. We're going to do the scissors to finish on, which is a really deep stretching move. Ideally in the scissors we should have straight legs, but if you're not quite there yet, you're going to work with a little bit more of a bent leg. So draw the knees in, just have a little stretch through both, and you might just come to here, that's fine. You might be able to come a little bit straighter, but whatever position you have, we're just going to roll chin to chest. Take hold of one of the legs and let the other leg drop away. So if you've got a bit of a bend, that's fine, just start the scissor here. If you can work with a straighter leg, lengthen the leg away. And if you feel quite strong, you can reach the leg away and work into a much more dynamic stretch, pulling the leg into the body while stabilising. So you're not moving, it's just the legs that are moving. So remember, don't worry if you're just here, working a little softer. You can take your head and neck down if you want to, or whether you're being a little bit more dynamic to finish this session on. Let's have a couple more. Well done, guys. You're there. We're done. Draw the knees in. Supple the knees into the chest. All right, I hope you're all okay. That was just a nice little introduction into a handful of the Pilates moves. There's loads more that we're going to be covering over the coming Fridays. Take hold of one of your knees, lengthen the other leg away. If you feel you want more challenge, or that you're more of a basic level wanting to learn with a little bit more steady work, or you're senior, I do have lots of subscription services available. Soplex. So you're very welcome to join one of these streaming classes where you'll get lots of classes a week and a little bit more time from me. Draw both knees in, just give the hips a little rock around, and then pop your right ankle on your left knee. Now I draw this leg in, you don't have to, you can keep your left foot on the floor if you want to. We're just stretching into our hips. Take a breath there.